Welcome to your Scorpio new moon yoga practice. Come to the top of your mat, bringing your feet together and softening the gaze or simply closing the eyes as you inhale and exhale. And as you breathe, standing here in your mountain pose, feel all four corners of both feet grounding down into the earth, stabilizing you. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking a moment to scan the body from the bottom of the feet, bringing your awareness to the bottom of the feet as you breathe, and scanning your awareness over the toes and the ankles, the calves and the shins, the knees and the kneecaps, perhaps lifting up and out of the knees, relaxing the quads and the hamstrings, drawing your awareness up to your pelvic bowl, maybe rocking the pelvic bowl forward and back a few times, noticing the mobility, perhaps side to side, or just making a figure 8 with your hips. And then drawing your awareness up to your stomach, noticing the condition of your stomach today. Perhaps it's full or empty. Maybe your digestion is starting to activate as you rest deeply here in this standing posture. Bringing your awareness to your low back, lifting up and out of the lower lumbar spine. Noticing the curve of the spine and seeing if you can drop the tailbone down as you zip up through the front, activating your bandhas, mula bandha, the root lock, gently lifting up through the pelvic floor, contracting and lifting up through the genitals and the anus, lifting up and hugging in slightly in the low belly even area, finding that mula bandha, that root lock energy. As if you were doing a Kegel exercise or you were urinating, had to stop quickly, gently continuing to draw the energy upward in a very gentle way. So once you find that lock, continuing to engage there ever so gently, drawing your awareness up to your rib cage, noticing the space between the ribs, breathing in, relaxing the diaphragm, filling the lungs, and exhaling, drawing the awareness up to the chest. And just taking a moment to notice if there's any heaviness in the heart center and the chest area. Just imagining, or maybe even taking your hands and dusting off the shelf of your chest. Just letting go of any grief or tension as you breathe, releasing and clearing out space in the heart center. Maybe rolling the shoulders a few times in each direction, relaxing through the shoulders, allowing the shoulder blades to melt down the back as you relax the whole upper back area. And then bringing your awareness to your underarms, your biceps, elbows, forearms, wrists, and all 10 fingers. Taking a moment to focus your concentration on the center of both palms, concentrating your awareness on these 2 points, the palms of the hands. And then expanding the awareness to all 10 fingers, bringing your awareness to all 10 fingertips. Using the power of your awareness then to contract your awareness again to both palms. And then expanding the awareness to all 10 fingertips. And as you meditate on all 10 fingertips, just noticing the power of your awareness can focus and concentrate on a single or even 2 points at the palms. And likewise, it can expand. It can expand to encapsulate all 10 fingertips through the power of your mind. Scanning the awareness up the fingertips, up the wrists, forearms, biceps, shoulders. Bringing your awareness to your throat, relaxing through the throat, the esophagus, the thyroid. And then bringing your awareness to every single hair on your head. See if you can become aware of every hair on your head as you breathe here. And then shifting the awareness above the head to the crown of the head, becoming aware of the space above the head, shifting the awareness upwards, sublimating the energy through focusing your awareness in the crown, Sahasrara. And perhaps even imagining a 1,008-petaled lotus flower blossoming in the crown, activating and awakening, opening through the top of the head to receive cosmic guidance, divine intuition, synchronicity, And bringing the awareness down to the third eye, focusing at the point between the eyebrows, the kutastha or Christ center, the third eye, Ajna chakra. And just taking a moment to focus here on this mental command center. Taking a moment to pause and focus, concentrating your awareness in the third eye. Perhaps engaging the optic nerve by gently looking up at the third eye. Thus, continuing to sublimate the energy upwards. And then relaxing that, letting that go, and relaxing every single feature on your face. We're going to move through a powerful, focused, concentrated new moon in Scorpio flow, yet remaining gentle and very internalized. Scorpio loves to dive down deep into the depths of our being. It feels so comfortable in the darkness of our depths of our being when we close our eyes and practice pratyahara, inward drawing of the senses. It loves to explore and investigate our internal world, our psyche. And using Scorpio's power of focus and concentration to stay focused, concentrating on the breath here. So inhaling, we're going to lift the hands, drop the shoulders down as we reach up, open the heart. Inhale, focusing on the breath, exhaling, tracing the breath. One breath, one movement, bowing forward. Just taking a moment to pause here and get grounded, perhaps separating out the feet, hips width apart, bending at the knees, maybe even placing the belly on the quads. And just hanging here, releasing the neck, letting the brain be heavy in the head, perhaps shaking the head yes or no. Just allowing for some healthy compression on the gut here as you release even more tension through the spine. And then just slowly beginning to straighten through the legs in a way that feels right for you. Maybe bending one knee and then the other, perhaps swaying a little bit side to side, and just taking a moment to anchor down through the feet in this grounding, earthy posture. Inhaling and exhaling. Gently engaging your bandhas and drawing up vital earth energy from the floor through the yin meridians of the inner thighs, allowing that earth energy to rise up through the inner thighs and come together, cultivating, accumulating at the sacrum, the root. And then cascading that energy with the exhale down over the spine, letting it wash over you. And again, inhaling vital earth energy up through the inner thighs, the yin meridians. Letting it collect at the root, at the level of the genitals and the anus, the perineum. And then cascading that energy with the exhale down over the spine, if this works for you. Doing a little bit of an energetic practice here, imagining the energy drawing up. And exhaling, letting it release, cascading over the spine down, and just feeling, pressing the hands on the floor. We're actually going to flip the palms over if you feel this is okay for your wrists. And we're going to step on our hands, palms facing up. My palms are now on the bottom of my feet, and I'm actually can even give myself a little wrist massage with my toes. And I'm going to explore my balance here and just let this take me deeper into an earthy, grounded rootedness. My knees are bent, or perhaps yours are straight. I'm just taking a few breaths here, feeling deeply connected to the earth. Scorpio is the sign of emotional extremes, and therefore it's imperative to stay grounded and rooted at this time, this new moon time, emptying out, releasing, pausing and resting in this hiatus moment of the new moon, clearing out space, releasing, letting go. And then releasing the hands with an inhale. We're just going to take our two peace fingers, the index finger and the middle finger, just wrap them around our big toes for a moment, and lifting up, gently lift and lengthen, and then pulling yourself in. Perhaps there's a micro bend in the knees, or maybe the knees are bent quite a bit here. We're just going to pull ourselves in a little bit deeper here. The elbows are out. And then releasing, gently lift and lengthen, pausing here in an isometric contraction, getting really long through the spine, letting the crown of the head come forward while the coccyx or tailbone reaches back, engaging the navel, activating the solar plexus. And exhaling, release, placing all 10 fingers spread wide on the ground, stepping back, stacking shoulders over wrists here, pressing down especially through the middle finger and the thumb. Powerful, strong, deep breaths, pausing here in our plank posture, gathering strength, stacking the bones to create architecture in the body that will be supportive for you here. And then just focusing in at the core, at the navel, perhaps gently hugging the navel in towards the spine as you breathe. And then we're going to come all the way to the floor. Elbows are hugging inwards as we come down to the earth, placing the third eye on the mat, and just taking a moment to notice the condition of the mind today. Perhaps the mind has been fast, agitated, rapid, jumping from thought to thought. Or maybe the mind's been slow, tamasic, cloudy, lethargic, perhaps even chaotic. And perhaps the mind has been sattvic, crystal clear, peaceful, slow, or even still, present in the moment. Whatever the condition of the mind is, just noticing it's the nature of the mind to fluctuate, change. And as you can observe your thoughts, therefore you are not your thoughts. You are the vast awareness. You are the observer, the eternal witness, Shiva consciousness. And just as the sky does not get disturbed by the clouds passing by, so too observing your thoughts, not getting caught in them or upset. Just noticing, again, it's the nature of the mind to wander, and with infinite compassion, training the mind to come back into the present moment. And even as you notice when the mind has wandered, celebrating that moment, knowing now that you get to come back to the joy of now. And then pressing down through all 10 fingers, gently lifting up into a low cobra, inhaling and exhaling down. We're going to do this a few times. So just rolling up, pressing down, low cobra, inhaling, chin comes up last, exhaling down. Pressing down through the feet, even here, through the pubic bone, inhaling and exhaling down. And then we're going to take the forehead on the floor, pressing the palms back. My hands are reaching back towards my feet now, palms facing down. And I'm going to reach back in Shalabhasana, lifting the feet, lifting the hands, lifting the shoulders and the head. I'm going to press my pubic bone down into the earth, creating an anchor here. And strengthening the back, lifting up, Shalabhasana, inhale, the neck is long, the gaze is forward, and exhaling down. And again, inhaling up, taking your time here, and exhaling down. Noticing the contraction in the low back, and try to stay long here, pressing down through the pubic bone, lifting up, pointing the toes, and exhaling down. Now we're going to stay up for 3 breaths. So exhaling down, inhaling up, staying up for 3 long, deep breaths. Concentrating, focusing on the breath. And pressing down, beautiful. Maybe you want to sway your hips side to side. And then we're going to press up strongly through the earth. Flat back, navel is engaged. We're tucking the toes under. I'm going to press up to my plank, pausing here in my plank position, seeing how strong my body is when I stack my bones. And pressing back into a downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here. Deep, long, intense breaths. Focusing, concentrating on the breath as you release the neck. Brain is heavy in the head, gazing at the navel. Lift the seat up. Stretch through the hamstrings, maybe pedaling out the feet as you breathe. Lifting the right leg up, hips stay square, and internal rotation in the thigh. Then we're going to open through the hips, scorpion the tail, and we're going to even flip over slowly, slowly, slowly into a wild thing. So here my right foot is on the ground, my left foot is, my razor edge of my left foot is flat on the ground, and I'm lifting up, pressing my pelvic bowl open, opening through the heart. And maybe you even want to flip all the way into a back bend. If that's your vibe, go for it. Otherwise, come back through Scorpion and meet me in a three-legged dog. And placing the right foot down. Lifting through the left foot here. Internal rotation, hips are squared, and then opening, rotating the hip open, staying here for a breath in your Scorpion, stretching through the left side body. The shoulders are square to the floor, and then slowly, slowly, slowly coming over into my wild thing. And then opening, lifting the pelvic bowl up, pressing through my feet, and then just coming over, having some fun with it. Scorpio can tend towards being a very serious, intense sign, so staying a little bit playful. Beautiful. And then we're just going to look forward, press back, lift the seat, come up on the heels, and either hop forward or just step to the top of your mat. Releasing here in your forward fold before stacking the vertebra one by one, very, very slowly, focused on the breath, coming up. Beautiful. Breathing here, Tadasana, mountain pose. The arms come up to complete. And then come together at the heart center, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra. Pressing the hands together. Taking a moment to breathe into the heart. And then releasing the hands by both sides, palms face forward. Beautiful. Well done. We're going to move through our chair pose, coming down and then up, sitting back into a seat, making sure I can see my toes here. Flat back, navel is engaged, sitting down here, getting longer, reaching up while the shoulders melt down, the hands reach forward. Just gently looking up here and sitting, and then we're just going to fly into a drinking bird, testing our balance here, and coming up, and flying back, and coming up, and flying back. Beautiful. And then standing up, opening through the heart, and then let's bow forward, bringing the hands through the heart center, coming into a nice forward fold. Gently lift and lengthen, placing all 10 hands, fingers spread wide, pressing down through the thumb and index finger, middle finger especially. Stepping back here, let's come into a Vashistasana, side plank. So starting on our right side, I'm just going to see how I can actually come my whole bottom of my body, the lower half of my body, can come into the side plank, and then I can lift my hand up. If this is really challenging for you, try dropping the knee here. Just being aware this can be challenging on the wrists. If you're ever having problems with the wrist, you can always come into a fist, because actually for the wrist flexors, this is kind of a challenging position here. So holding in our Vashistasana, and then coming through the center, we're going to come to the second side, just noticing how when I rotate up my sternum, if this is safe for you, I can then come in with my bottom feet. The razor's edge of my left foot is pressing into the earth, and I'm pressing out and away, even arcing slightly. Or I can always drop my bottom knee, pressing into the right foot and the right knee. Woo. And then let's come back through plank. Let's do knees, chest, chin to the floor, and then glide forward, lifting into a low cobra. And let's just press back into a child's pose, focusing on the breath, intense concentration. Investigating your internal reality by virtue of the breath. And opening through the hips as you breathe in your child's pose. Releasing any emotional stagnation. Scorpio is the sign of intense emotional extremes, a water sign, fixed water. Can be obstinate in its fixed energetics. A very idealistic sign, yet can have strong convictions and be unwavering. And at the same time, needs to stay fluid in that it's a water sign. So here really allowing for any emotions to come forward and through here, holding space for your feelings to arise in the space of your awareness. And let's just roll through the spine. So spinal rolls here, coming through a tabletop, and then slowly the chin is tucked here as I drop my pubic bone towards the earth, and then I roll my shoulders back and lift my chin last. If I want, I could stay more active, pressing through the feet to lift the quads off the earth, the thighs, or I can keep this really grounded. Coming back with the tailbone, the seat comes back first, and then I'm just pressing back into my child's pose, and then again rolling through cat position. Yeah. Cat position, shoulders over wrists, rolling through the spine here, lifting up, chin comes up last, tucking the chin in, pressing through the hands, arcing through the upper back, letting the seat come back towards the heels. Just go ahead and take maybe a few of these at your own rhythm and pace. Maybe you want to keep it really slow and sensual, or perhaps you want to move the energy with a little bit of a more brisk pace. Gorgeous. And then when you're done, just flipping over the toes and pressing into your downward facing dog for 5 breaths here. Pedaling out through the heels, letting the hamstrings melt towards the floor, lifting the seat up, pressing back through the hands. Neck is relaxed, gaze is at the navel. Breathe here. I'm going to lift the right knee, and then we're going to bring it in and back, and in, and exhale, and in, and pressing the hand through after you've taken a few spins, a few different tries of that. And then coming into a low lunge, let's just drop the back knee here, beautiful, and come up. How's it going? Perfect. You've got this. So let's take a moment here to find our alignment, dropping the sacrum, or rather the tailbone, the coccyx pointing down, so there's like a flat back rather than a curvature in the spine or a minor scoliosis. So we're gonna zip up through the low belly here as we drop the tailbone down. So we really have this beautiful flat phenomenon happening here. And just noticing how that changes things, how there might be some tightness in the quads or the adductors, the fronts of the left hip. And then I'm going to just come forward with that engagement. And if I were just to dump out, right, I'd be able to go a lot further. But with the engagement, activating, engaging more here, I might stay more lifted. You might like to bring your hands up if that feels good, even practicing the arms, or you could clasp the fingers and bring them over the knee. And then slowly making your way forward into this beautiful stretch. Breathing deeply, focusing, concentrating intensely on the breath. What is this sensation? What is this phenomenon of the breath? Beautiful. And let's just press back into a half Hanuman Asana, Ardha Hanuman. Beautiful. And as you may know, if you've been practicing with me, I like to keep my foot flat on the floor for a while just to get a really nice stretch through my shin, and then bringing it back into the calf, flexing the foot. You can even pull back through the right hip a little bit. And maybe you'd want to grab some blocks to support you here. Or if you've got a full split, coming into your beautiful full split now. Few breaths. And then just coming forward for a moment. Let's do a little twist here. So in our low lunge with the back knee dropped, we're just going to press down through the left hand and then open, windmilling the arm, pointing back towards the back foot. And then I'm even like splaying out through the right knee here. Even my right foot is coming off the floor slightly. So feel free to allow for whatever wants to happen there. Gorgeous. Well done, pressing the hands down. And then let's just come back into a tabletop for a moment before we come into our second side. So let's just do a few cat-cows. Inhaling cow, navel drops down, chin comes up. Exhaling cat, arching, hugging the navel in, exhaling. And perhaps you want to, I was gasped. Perhaps you want to take this a little bit faster, like I like to do Kundalini Yoga style as a spinal flexion. Or maybe you want to keep it nice and slow. Your choice. Beautiful. Just taking your last round there. And then we're going to press back into our downward facing dog, taking a few nice, long, luxurious breaths here, intense, focused, concentrating on the breath. Perhaps activating that root lock. And then we're just going to lift the left leg and come in, inhaling back, exhaling, contract, inhaling, expand. And then when you're done with that, placing your foot on the ground, we're just going to drop the back knee here and come up to get nice and in alignment. So here, as you come up on the knee, perhaps you need to roll the mat over to protect the knees, and dropping the coccyx down, zipping up through the low belly, perhaps engaging those bandhas for a moment, and then just slowly with that engagement starting to come forward, really stretching through the quad, the adductors, the right hip. Just enjoying some breaths here. Getting intimate with the breath. Scorpio is the sign of intimacy. Letting there be a sense of intimacy with the breath as it takes you deeper into your experience. A few breaths here. Beautiful. And then just pressing back through the front foot, coming into a folding over your Ardha, half Hanuman Asana, half split. And perhaps coming into your full split if you've got that in your repertoire. Or grabbing some blocks to support you here. As you release deeper into this posture. Being intimate with the breath. And then just coming forward into a low lunge here. And then just twisting, opening, pressing down through the right hand, lifting up and over, pointing back. And maybe you need to open up through the hip and even allow the left foot to come slightly off the floor, or maybe not. Beautiful, opening through the hips, encouraging emotional release, holding space for any feelings that come through, welcoming these emotions. And then just pressing back again into our tabletop position. We're going to stretch out, opening up here. We're going to lift the right hand and the left leg to become parallel with the body. And reaching forward, reaching back, and then we're going to bend at the elbow and the knee, hugging in, contracting at the navel. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, contract. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, going deeper. Exhale, inhale, and exhale a few times here at your own pace. Finding balance. Gorgeous. And pressing the hand down. We're going to come into the second side right away, lifting up the left hand and the right foot, stretching long. Inhaling, expand. Exhaling, contract at the navel. Staying balanced. Beautiful. And placing both hands down, let's just sit back on our heels for a moment in Vadrasana, lightning pose, coming into a moment of meditation, integrating all of the energy that we've activated so far in our beautiful Scorpio new moon practice. Being intimate with the breath, focus, concentrate. Investigating the phenomena of the breath with almost an obsessive energy, passionate, also determined, fixed, obstinate, with a sense of conviction, knowing that the breath will, expecting the breath to transform us. Beautiful. Let's do some spinal flexions here. So if this is not comfortable for you, feel free to come on into an easy pose on your seat. And we're just going to inhale forward, exhale back. So just a spinal flexion here, feeling free to place the hands wherever makes sense for you. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, and begin. Keep up. So hum, so hum. As I inhale, I say, so, I chant so internally. And as I exhale, I say hum. I am that which I seek. Scorpio is the sign of that wants our enlightenment. I am that which I seek. I am peace. You can do this as fast or as slow as you like. Beautiful. And let's just come onto our seat and do a few more Kundalini style warm-ups, even though we're already a little warmed up. Bringing the hands, the fingertips to the shoulders. We're going to inhale left and exhale right. I'm sitting in easy pose. My bottom of my left foot is kind of rolled open and resting on my calf. So give that a try. Or you could just be not really like crisscross, but the feet could be separated, but try not to have them crossed over like in grade school. So here we go, inhaling left, exhaling right, twisting at either the navel or the sternum. You might just like to go really slowly here and just find your mobility and flow. And you can try lifting up and out of the rib cage, out of the sternum, just to create more space for this to happen. And begin. Chin stays parallel to the floor, and the skull, the neck, is in alignment with the spine. So the head rotates with the spine. It doesn't move separately. Creating some mobility and breathing deeper. Deepen the breath. Beautiful. I'm just coming to center, taking a moment to gaze up at the third eye, lift up through the genitals and anus, contracting in and up. PC, pelvic floor contraction like a Kegel. Or if you were urinating and had to stop quickly, finding those muscles there. As you look up, drawing the energy upwards, sublimating the lower vital energies to your higher energy centers. And releasing that there. Let's just do some shoulder squeezes. So we're going to inhale up, exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale, let it go. Inhale up, exhale, release. And give it a shot. As you close your eyes here, you can always gaze up at the optic, at the third eye, the Kutastha or Christ center, Ajna chakra, third eye, or you can also lift in and up through the genitals, anus, PC, pelvic floor contraction. That's your Mula Bandha. So let's give it a try, and this will create a lot of tension in the neck, but it's actually being rinsed and released out. So this is a really beautiful practice, especially if you have tension in the neck and shoulders. Let's begin. Inhale up, exhale down, deep breaths. Go at your own pace. Keep up. Wringing out the tension in the neck. Woo. Keep going if you're feeling it, or you might like to come to your conclusion. For me, I really feel that in my neck. It's incredible, the sensation actually. The tension being released, coming to the surface. Just breathing in here, allowing for the process to happen, the tension to continue to release and unfold in your neck and shoulders. I feel that exercise can be quite intense. Beautiful. Let's just place the left hand down and open up through the right side body. Give it a little stretch here. And then coming to the other side, just really gentle. Gorgeous. And let's just cross the right leg over the left leg, putting the right foot on the floor, the knees facing up here. And I'm gonna lift up through my left side body, reaching up towards the sky. And then I'm gonna twist at my navel and my sternum, and then I'm gonna anchor, dropping my left wrist down and anchoring over my right leg here. And look back, engaging the Vishuddha chakra, my throat chakra here on the yang side, the masculine side. The emissive side of my Vishuddha chakra. Vishuddha is that mastery and refinement, that ether element, the space. So here, as you sit in this asana, this posture, meditating on the space around you, the space between your fingers, creating a space in the body with the breath. The ether element. Few breaths here, detoxifying through the digestive system, rinsing out, wringing out, and releasing, maybe a little counter pose to the next side. And then let's just switch legs. The right bottom foot comes to the earth, the right knee faces up. Both of my knees are bent here, and I'm just gonna reach up through the right side, and I'm gonna come down over and twist, looking out over my shoulder, engaging the yin side of Vishuddha chakra, the left side of my neck. The feminine side, the ability to receive refined art, masterful music, purifying through this energy center, simply by sitting in this asana and meditating, activating the throat chakra, while I simultaneously allow for my digestive system to be supported with this twist. And releasing to the other side. Beautiful. Let's just come into a little Badakanasana here. Some more hip opening, butterflying through the hips. And then just coming into a little bit of stillness. And then we're gonna sit up tall and lift up out of our pelvic bowl as we elongate, coming forward. Really, the nose is coming more towards the toes rather than the forehead. So staying really long here and lifted, perhaps placing the elbows on the calves just for some added leverage, creating some pressure as I continue to get longer, lifting up out of my pelvic bowl. Staying lifted here, just noticing as I breathe, focusing on the breath, and releasing stuck, stagnant emotions in the hips, holding space for my emotional superpowers, the powerful emotions to come through, which let you know that you are truly alive. Without great sorrow, there is no great joy. It's the richness of life when we allow ourselves to feel deeply rather than block, repress, deny our emotions, creating disease, dis-ease by repressing our emotions, storing them in our internal organs, like anger in the liver, fear in the kidneys, grief in the lungs. And releasing here, let's just take a nice wide-legged forward fold. Perhaps you want to come legs up the wall if you have a wall available to you. And coming in, perhaps getting a little roll or meditation cushion to help prop up your hips so you can create a little bit of an interior tilt of the pelvic bowl. Forward tilting there, so you can just come forward and perhaps resting on a block or using your hands here as you surrender deeper into this nice, beautiful, wide-legged forward fold. Few breaths here. Intimacy with the breath, focused, concentrated, intensifying your breath. Then let's just come forward and open up through the side body here, reaching the right arm along the right leg, lifting up through the left arm and just gently coming over one side and breathing into the side body, keeping the heart rotating up towards the ceiling. Using whatever props, pillows or blocks you need to support you here. Grounding down through the sit bones. Just slowly allowing for the unraveling of the side body, the side waist. And then coming up through the center and coming into the second side. Opening up through the side body. Lifting up, allowing the heart to come towards the ceiling. Allowing for a nice, long, deep stretch through the right side body. Beautiful. And coming back through center, supporting your knees, just kind of clasping behind the thighs and coming up. I'm going to roll down onto our mat here, vertebra by vertebra. Coming down with the knees bent, feet on the floor. We're just going to roll up the spine a few times. Coming up and down, perhaps bringing the arms along with you as you roll like a wave. Beautiful. And then let's come into happy baby. So here my knees are bent and I'm keeping my sacrum flat on the floor and my shoulders. My hands can be on either side of my feet. I like them to come on the outside of my feet. And I'm just pressing my hips down, opening through the groin. Feet are up towards the ceiling. And you could rock side to side like a happy baby. Just enjoying a Few breaths here as we come towards the end of our practice. Beautiful. And then just keeping the right leg in, hugging the right leg in, elongating the left leg out, stretching, hugging the knee, opening up through the left adductor, and then switching sides. Beautiful. Let's finally just bring legs up the wall here. Flex and point the toes a few times, rolling the ankles both directions. Just taking a moment, allowing for this inversion. Perhaps you'd like to do this at the wall. Starting to really internalize, get into the depths of this new moon energy, this quiet night, this time of internal reflection. And let's just thread the needle, bending the right leg, the right knee is opening, and just bringing the hands through the figure four we've created here for a brief moment. Breathing, slowing down the breath. Pratyahara, inward drawing of the senses. You might like to dim the lights at this point or dim the computer screen. Coming through center and coming into your second side. Beautiful. And whenever you're ready, releasing into your final resting pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, the pose of Shiva, the great reabsorber, also known as the destroyer, if you want to be dramatic. The one at the end of the creative cycle, the regenerative force, death, surrender, let go. There is nothing more to do. Just allow for the harmonious distribution of all the energy you cultivated in your practice today throughout your entire being. A warm wave of relaxation to come over you from the crown of your head, over your facial features, the back of your head, shoulders, arms, chest, body, the hips, thighs, knees, shins, calves, and your feet, relaxing your entire body together, the whole body together, the whole body together, feeling heavy like you have a weighted blanket connected to the earth, so held and supported, stable, anchored, resting here. Releasing even the breath, effortlessness, allowing, being, accepting, surrendering deeper. Stay here as long as possible. And whenever you're ready, after you've had your longest possible Shavasana, wiggling the fingers and the toes, reaching up overhead before rolling over to one side, cradling the ear on the bicep like a pillow, and pausing in this fetal position, this transitional moment. Pressing it down into the floor to come up to a beautiful seat here. Bringing the hands to the heart center, inhaling deeply. And exhaling, bringing the hands to the third eye. And perhaps even bowing forward, bringing the third eye to the floor here, consecrating, offering up your practice, the fruits and merits to the universal consciousness, the divine will. Thank you so much for being here with me on this Scorpio new moon. I'm sending you so much love. Namaste.